It's good, mate.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is the last preview of the season. We just had a few technical issues there. For some reason, my missus has gone out of the house. So my earphones are gone, my charger's gone. I'd literally leave the house for a day, and it's all gone to pot. Owen's connection's gone up the wall, but all the way from Canada. Tim is with us, full sound, full picture, everything.
Yeah, mate. I'm here.
Oh, man, my days. Is this a sign of how the weekend's going to go? It's going to be carnage, mate. Anyway, everyone who's in the comment section, hello. Everyone who is watching this show on YouTube when it goes up on the channel later, hello as well. Thanks for tuning in. Tim, I'll come to you first, mate, while Owen's trying to get himself sorted. Last time I spoke to you was before the Chelsea game, mate, and whoa, what a bad week we've had. Just quickly before we get into the nitty-gritty of this weekend, what's happening with your week, mate? Has it been as bad as the football? Has everything been as bad as the football, or has it affected anything going through the week, mate? How's it been over there?
Everything's been good, mate. Been pretty good. You know, just still warm, weather's still banging, but obviously, yeah, it's been a rough week. Well, rough in terms of the results, anyway. You know, disappointed. The Chelsea game, I mean, you guys, I watched you guys, I watched you talking about it, and it was a rough game. It was just a terrible Performance. And then the West Ham game, I think we look shattered, mate. I got to be honest. I think we look tired. You know, it's a couple performances in a row now from Bruno where maybe the amount of minutes that he's played since coming here is just even with the break that he's had, but after the restart is just starting to catch up to him. But yeah, it's been a bad week. The moments maybe have caught up with the squad a bit. They've had a couple of poor performances in some big games now towards the run in the run-in. So see what happens on Sunday, mate.
Yeah, getting into Sunday now. I mean, after a bad week, obviously the dust has settled now from the. Well, you can't say bad week because we're actually into third position in the league.
Well, that's it.
So I know it's hard to look at it in a positive way after the performance, but in terms of where we are in the league, it's just one of them strange weekends where everyone who's in this fight, all three teams in the fight for top four, has their fate in their hands. And just as Owen arrived here, getting into nitty-gritty of the weekend.
There we are.
Right, we're just going to get into it there, Owen. And I was just about to before you came back on. This weekend, we've already spoke about carnage at the week. Tim's just put his week down in words there. But going into this weekend, three teams, all with the fate in their own hands. I don't think it's ever been like this. Every team knows going into this weekend, if we win, we're in Champions League next season. It's as simple as that. There are permutations after permutations all over the place. But the one thing is, we all know that every team has to, in reality, go out for a win. There's just no other way about it. There's no way of knowing or thinking about anyone else or what they're doing. For us, it's a lot simpler because our opponents are right in front of us. Chelsea will probably have one eye on our game. They just have to match Leicester's result to be in the top four. And for us and Leicester, it's simple. Go out, win the game, job done, season over. Now, after watching what we did in the week, obviously, we're not the only ones. Leicester got a drumming. Chelsea put up a fight, but still conceded 5 against Liverpool in the week. None of us, really, are going into this with much confidence, mate. So I bring it to you first, Tim, mate. I mean, I don't think anyone will be able to predict how this weekend goes or how the results go because it has been that way the last 3 weeks. We've literally all tripped over each other in the fight to get over the line. And now it's just that moment. Who is going to put the hand over the line first and claim that spot? And that's what it's all about. But is there anything that you've seen recently that gives you more confidence over Leicester or the way Chelsea are playing? I think the team going into this weekend probably feeling a bit more safe about things. Who's involved in it is probably Wolves. Yeah. They're probably the one form team who could have a say on everything. But Tim, how are you seeing it, mate? Is there anything out there that you've seen from United that gives you confidence over the other two, or is it just a case of who's got the bottle at the end of the day? Who is going to have the balls to see it over the line?
Well, I mean, the confidence has to come from the fact that we've seen what this United side is capable of doing after the restart, and we saw some of the performances that they put in. You just touched on it at the end of what you were saying there. Is it's going to come down to who's got the bottle. And we had a chance against Southampton. The performance wasn't great. Obviously, the semifinal against Chelsea, the performance wasn't great. Had a chance against West Ham as well. The performance wasn't great. So we've had these sort of, what I was saying earlier, these big games in the run-in where the mentality just hasn't been right. Maybe the shape, certainly against Leicester, you guys talked about the shape, and maybe the shape wasn't right. But ultimately, I mean, the game against West Ham, you would have picked that same squad, maybe minus Fosu Mensah, and had Wan-Bissaka at right back. But that was the team. So on the other side of the coin for Leicester, obviously you've got Madison's injured, Chilwell's injured, Seansu is suspended. Johnny Evans is a lucky boy to be playing in this game. He should have probably got a second yellow at the end of that Spurs game. So Leicester, I mean, as much as people aren't confident with us, I think Leicester are in a bit of a free fall here. So I do have some confidence going into this game because I just feel like at some point that mentality has just got to switch, and we have to. That's the next evolution in the squad, is these massive moments to be able to get it done.
Yeah, I mean, Owen, Jonathan makes a good point there, mate. Deja vu from last season. We had a chance. All we had to do was beat Chelsea, beat Huddersfield.
Don't talk about last season. I was at Huddersfield.
Mate,
that's depressing enough.
You weren't the only one, mate. We weren't the only one. But is that the ultimate fear, like Jonathan says there?
The only decent beer it was cheap beer. It was cheap beer at Huddersfield. That was the only decent bit about it.
Mm.
Oh.
No, it's one of them, mate.
Oh.
Are you thinking, after seeing what we've done the last few weeks, is the old United from last season going to come? Or is it just going to be one of them games where they just, you know what, they finally get over the line and get over this hurdle? Because the hurdle is getting in this top four, in this Champions League. And you know what, we're there now. We've never been in this position before, I don't think, where we've had this game in our hands. Mm-hmm. And it's hard to see after the form, but the form of everyone else is sort of giving me a little bit of confidence. Is that sort of making sense? Is it sort of overriding everything else that we're not the worst ones going into this last day of the season?
I think that we're just lucky that Leicester are in such terrible form as well. Because I think if we're playing a Leicester side that are in flying form, we're done. And I think just playing that Leicester side that aren't in the, sorry, that's my mate there. But if playing that Leicester side,
at least it's not your solo win, mate.
Free fall at the moment. let's not discuss that one again, shall we?
Yeah, sorry, mate. Carry on. I feel you off.
No, but Leicester seems to be in free fall. But for the start of from the start of for the restart project, they've I think they were 7 or 8 points ahead of us, and we've caught them, and we're ahead of them at the moment. We are third. And look, the way you got to look at it is if we win on Sunday, we finish third. And we've had a pony season overall, to be honest. So finishing third, and the way we have been since Bruno was signed, the way we can carry on, we could definitely, definitely be with 2 or 3 signings, we could definitely be competing next year. That's the way we've got to look at it. I'm not massively confident going into Sunday, just because of how we have been playing over the last few games. And it is reminding me of last year when we went to Huddersfield away, drew, lost to Cardiff at home. It's reminding me of that a little bit, and I'm really hoping that we just pull it out of our arse on Sunday. To be honest, the perfect scenario would probably obviously I want United to win, but I just kind of want Chelsea to miss out. So a perfect scenario: we draw, Chelsea lose, they finish 5th, us Leicester 3rd and 4th.
I don't know if you guys saw the manager's press conferences today, but it's kind of funny because Brendan Rodgers was saying, I don't know if it's been all over Twitter, but he's basically saying if we fall outside of the top 4, it's really not that bad a season for us because we're still in Europe. But he's almost setting the table. That's not what you want to hear if you're a Leicester City supporter. Whereas Ole is saying, other teams are banged up. We're all tired. We gotta go out there and do the business on Sunday, and we have to be strong mentally and get over the hump. So it's sort of, it's good to hear that from Ole and from Brendan Rodgers. It just sounds like Leicester just seems spent. They just seem beaten.
Yeah, I mean, I'll get into some of the players and the players' form in a minute. I just brought that chat up there because it is important going forward. But a couple of other things I just wanted to talk about before we went into some of the players and the certain players' form at the moment, because that has been a big one this week. But you just touched on it there, Tim. I listened to all the press conferences this week. I also seen what you guys sent me on YouTube, and I think everyone's seen it now. Frank Lampard having a go at Jurgen Klopp. So to be honest, I just want to see. I want to see Lampard just get in just for doing that to Jurgen Klopp.
That was amazing.
That was funny.
Frank. No, I was
legend
brilliant
for that. But anyway, Owen, listening to. Sorry, go on. I'll bring this up. I'll bring this up for you first, and then you can just carry on with what you're saying then. But Tim touched on Brendan Rodgers there, saying it's still not a bad season. I think he's playing mind games myself. Do you think Ollie's going to fall into this trap? He said, Ollie, that we have set ourselves up with a fantastic opportunity. Oh, I hate trying to make it sound negative. People say I'm negative, but it's not being negative. It's just saying that if we don't make top 4, I mean, people are saying from January you would have took this situation. Well, I don't look at it that way. I look at it. I'm not forgetting the run we've been on. I'm giving Ollie credit for that. He's done well. But what's the point in going on a run if you're going to fall on the last hurdle? Do you know what I mean? And I just feel like Ollie's words are saying, is he sort of setting us up? Because he said that himself, that if you would have offered this before lockdown, no, it's in our hands and we have to win the last game to go through, then you'd have snatched their hands off. But like I said beforehand, we've had opportunities to do this. And is that the overriding fear going into the game on Sunday, that they know they only need a draw, mate? And this could really, because as soon as United try and play a draw or try and play defensive in any way, shape or form,
we cannot
going one way, mate. We're going one way and it's not the good way.
No.
Yeah, I think we got to go there.
I'm nervous about that.
Yeah, I mean, Owen,
we can't
play for a draw, mate.
We cannot. We as a team, as that 11, the way we have been playing, we cannot play for a draw. Like it's free flow. Like before the Southampton game, really, the way we were playing, it was free flowing, attacking football. It looked full. It was going really well. And if we want to play like that, which is the best way that our best starting 11 is suited to, then we cannot come into the game with a playing defensive football. I don't think we're suited to playing defensive football at all. I think as well, like Maguire and Lindelof. I mean, Maguire's probably still a bit concussed, but and Lindelof for me has always looked suspect in the 3 years he's been with us. So I don't think we're set up to play defensive football at all. And I'm dreading thinking that, like, you'll know within the first 15 minutes of watching how we do set up. And if we set up defensively, my bum's going to be flapping for 90 minutes. Basically, it's not going to be nice. And I see what you're saying about Rodgers playing mind games, but did I cut out there? With Rodgers playing, I don't know. I feel like Brendan Rodgers, he has done well. He has done well with Leicester, but I don't know. I feel like as a manager, I don't think he's that great, and I don't think he's capable of playing mind games. I mean, they call Ollie the babyface assassin for a reason. He's done really well since he's come in, so I think we'll have the better of him.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I personally don't like Rodgers for his Liverpool links. I do think he thinks highly of himself in terms of a manager.
Well, that's
that's in the end why Liverpool failed for me.
He didn't want to work with the director of football, and he was shown the door. So.
Well, this is it. I mean, I'd love to wipe that veneer smile off his face. I really would, but it's down to United. This Leicester, Tim touched on it. We'll get into the players in a minute, but the amount of key players that Leicester are missing compared to what we've got. We've got Shaw. Someone just brought up Shaw then in the comment section. And I don't know still if he's actually going to be fit. The rumours are he's probably not going to be ready, but for a one-off game at the end of the season, if he's going to put an injection in or something like that, then I don't know. He could possibly try and squeeze him in, but at the end of the day, we don't want anyone who's half fit in this game, because what Leicester will bring is bags and bags and bags of energy. They're just going to try and high press us. Tim, I'll come to you first, mate. Is there a case with Soyuncu missing and how sort of, I'd say not the biggest team in the world. Is there a case for us trying to be clever in this game and go a bit more direct, miss out the press, take out their quality players, the Ndidis, the Vardis, the Barnes, players like this who are going to press us high, try and play long and hit a target? Is there a shout, I'm going to get into players and players form in a minute, that maybe we change the team going forward? Is there a formation change? Is there a team change? Or do we go like Owen said, the free-flowing football beforehand? But then again, that failed against West Ham. Have teams sussed us out?
That's the thing. I mean, we've really struggled against the press this season at times, right?
Yeah.
Having said that, I think if you're looking to go direct, then you're looking at probably having to bring a Gallo into the side, which means that you're taking out either Greenwood, Martial, or Rashford. Now, who's gonna do more damage? And I think Owen's right. I just don't see Ole in the last game of the season with the damage, knowing what is capable of that front three doing. I think it's more of a matter of sorting out how we get out from the back. I think that's more of the issue, where we've just been caught so much in the press that I think it's just a matter of sorting that out, and then we can break out. But I don't know if I probably wouldn't change the formation. I don't think he will. I think it'll be the 4-2-3-1, and I think the team will probably be the same as what we played against West Ham minus Fosu Mensah.
There's a shout there. I mean, the issue that I seen against West Ham was that West Ham knew they were just coming to spoil the party, sit back, play like David Moyes, which I despise, and it worked. We had no answer to their deep, congested defensive line, and every time a player got the ball, they were just there quickly to press. They didn't press us high, but that just give us the chance then to start playing our old style of sideways LVG football, Owen, mate, because that's what I was watching against West Ham. I seen Mourinho and LVG football, mate. There was no risk taking.
That's what it was.
It seems like it's got into the Reds that they can't afford to make a mistake now. And all these United fans coming on talking about players giving balls away and Bruno this, Rashford this, and all that. Well, you know what? I'd take that all day long if it got me 3-0 wins against Villa, 5-2 wins against Bournemouth. This is West Ham, who were 2 weeks ago fighting relegation, people. Let's not kid ourselves. And they snuffed us out. We had no idea. And the players, for me, looked scared the other night. Is this a case now, Owen, of going into this game, just put that West Ham game to bed? Chelsea can be a one-off. Everyone has a bad game, and everyone did have a bad game on one day. But going into this game now, we know Leicester can't afford to play for a draw. So this, I think, is going to be a fast-flowing game of football. It's probably going to be – it's got the makings of being game of the season. Someone just said then 17-18 season, 5-4, Tottenham and Leicester, last game of the season. It's, you know what? It has got the capabilities of being that game, mate. And I think Leicester, in a way, are going to play into our hands in the way they have to chase this game. I don't think Leicester can afford to not get this first goal. That's how I see it, mate. Do you see it any differently than that? Is there a certain, would you try and be cautious at the start, or would you just go, right, let's try and put the pressure on them?
You've got to go for it. I think you have to go for it. And you were saying about like not changing the starting 11. Personally, I bring in McTominay because of like how Herrera marked Hazard out of the game when we played Chelsea a few years ago. I think McTominay is capable of doing that. To Ndidi or something, or just marking their midfield out of it. And I think bringing in McTominay would be a good idea because I don't think Matic has seemed up to it in the last few games. I think he seems burnt out. I think he needs to just be rested properly. And I think we should definitely be going for it. Like, look, at the end of the day, like whatever about this, like, how we're playing or whatever, we are Man United. We shouldn't into games looking for draws, to get the best out of it. We should be going free flowing attacking football, trying our best to win the game. And look, like we should be trying to finish third. We shouldn't be like dilly-dallying about, we might finish. We should be trying to finish as high as we possibly can in order to put us in good stead for next season. Finish third, go into the Europa League and have that as an icing on the cake like Chelsea did last year.
Yeah.
I mean, Tim, we're looking at it there. You agree with Owen there? I mean, first goal I think is crucial in this game
100%.
Because if we don't get it, then I'm scared. I'm scared now. If we don't get the first goal, I'm sort of shitting myself, mate. I'm not going to lie. Yeah. But is it like Owen says there? We just have to go and play to our strengths. That's obviously not defending. Even though we have got a good defensive record in the league, we've seen in recent weeks we try and play clever and slow lethargic football from the back, which we have started playing at the start of every single game over the last 4 or 5 I can think of.
Yeah,
I think the last time we didn't was the Bournemouth game. Even Villa, we were slow off the mark. Slow start ain't cutting it this weekend, mate, I don't think. And I think the team that does score the first goal is probably going to end up going to the Champions League, mate.
I think we have to. I think Owen's right. We have to get at them right away. To sit back and put the pressure on our defense, I think it's going to be similar to what we saw against West Ham in terms of substitutions, where I don't think we had a recognized center back unless Bailly comes back in and is fit to at least be on the bench. But you start putting all kinds of pressure on Maguire, Lindelof, and that back four, then all of a sudden, if you pick up an injury, who's going to come in as the center back position. So it's a consideration, but I think we have to defend as a team. I think we've been doing that fairly, after the restart. It's one of the things that Ole touched on as well, that we were defending as a team really well. But yeah, I agree with Owen. We just nobody in our pomp, they can't play with us. So if I know they're tired. I know the boys are obviously starting to show some fatigue, but I think one of the crucial things maybe for United is the last few games we've seen teams get somebody closer to Bruno and try to mark him out of the game. So if you can try to get him into positions where he's got the time and space to create things, that'll be a key for us. But I believe Ndidi isn't one of the players he's going to be fit, if I'm not mistaken. I saw the injuries, but I believe Ndidi's fit for this game. So Ndidi will probably be the player that Leicester tries to get into Bruno, similar to what we've seen from the teams that they've played recently. So, it's going to be we've got to move. We've got to get things. It's been slow, like you guys touched on, a lot of east-west passes. So you've got to speed up the tempo from the start, get things going. Don't allow them to get people around Bruno and get him into areas where he can do the damage that we've seen, and then start unlocking things. Have him play as close to Martial as possible, and the interchange of that front three. Those are all the things that we were doing so well when we were smashing teams after restart. That for one game, if you're Ole, you just got to say to the guys, like, look, we're all tired, but you've got these are the moments of the season where we need to elevate from the progress that we've made already, and elevate to that. And be mentally strong, because at the end of the season, the games come thick and fast. If you guys want to be there, these are the games that you've got to win.
Yeah, well, this is it. This is what it's all about. And taking us straight in to the next part, we talked about how Ollie's going to play it. We talked about how we need to start off the game, the players now, because for me, the last couple of games, we've seen quite a few flaws in quite a lot of players. I think it was good to see Harry Maguire have a commanding game at the back, even though he didn't have much to do. But no mistakes is always a good sign. It gave De Gea nothing to do practically, so we're not talking about that now. I thought Lindelof played all right as well. Again, not too much to do. If it weren't for mistakes, which it always is with United, which is my ultimate fear, then we'd have probably won every single game that we've played so far, because they've all been mistakes that we've conceded goals from. No team has carved us open, at all that I've seen. No team at all has carved us open. But getting into the players, it was touched on before. There's a few players getting a lot of stick at the moment, an awful lot of stick. And I think some fans just need to remember exactly where he was. I know I'm not bringing it back against myself and what I said. That's a loser's mentality, thinking back where we was. But there's some players that were playing out the skins, even when we were crap early on in the season. And one player who has been sort of off and was terrible, I'm not going to lie, is Rashford. He was absolutely awful against West Ham. But for people to come on and say he's finished, he is not going to be good enough, he's a liability, he's slowing us down, I just don't see it at all. I think this is the guy who sort of put us where we are when we were crap this season. There's been a lot of critique over Pogba, over what he's done. And yeah, he has let us down a couple of times, but I've said it all along and I'll back my opinion on it, that these are game-changing players. And you know what? This is the game now, Owen, mate, when these players, they can put all of that to bed. They can put the mistakes to bed in one game, literally. Just go out and play a cup final, play your best game, and let's move on and finish this season on a high. I mean, going into next season, maybe it will be a worry for some people in terms of the players' form and who they don't like. There is a lot of agendas out there with football fans, a lot at our club as well, with certain players. But as a team, I don't see us needing to change that formation that we all know has got us these good results recently. They proved they can do it, and I just feel like the players... It's all going to come down to Wally to get the best out of these players now. It's all about the team talk. It's all about the tactics going forward and the plan. The players know that on their day they can turn anything around, and Leicester are going to come and play ball. So it's going to play into all our players, our best players' advantage. It's just about, it's how they sort of adapt to the game and how quickly they can adapt to the game. Is there one player, any player at all you're worried about in that team right now, Owen? Going into this game, is there anyone? Or are you sticking with what you've seen all season, mate, on this? Is there a crunch decision that needs to be made?
What do you mean in terms of worry? In terms of worried about how they could perform? Or
attitude. Because I'll tell you what was brought up. What was brought up to me and what I defend was the attitude of Marcus Rashford. Pogba is in it for himself. When things go wrong, these players go hiding. And for me, I think it's affected Bruno. Because Bruno's been out of position and all over the place recently. It's like he's trying to do too much for me. Is this a player mentality issue? And has something happened? I'm not sort of trying to scaremonger or anything like that, but something was wrong with Rashford in the week, and Pogba's gone completely off the boil.
Pogba's gone off the boil. And in all fairness, I was like look, we had it in the group chat. Look, I was absolutely raging. Because, look, when you play football as a kid, you're taught when you're jumping up in front of the ball, you put your hands by your side. And, look, and so it's probably a bit harsh saying this, but I don't think there's another word that suits it better, to be honest. It was cowardice. Like, look, and if you're looking at it, if he hadn't ducked, it would have probably hit him on the chest. He's a big lad, 6'4". It's probably going to hit him on the chest. He ducks down. He's put his hands in front of his face. And... look, it's inexcusable, but like I think the level of stick that he was getting and the level of stick that Rashi was getting was just completely unjustified. Yeah. Like Rashford has had an unbelievable season, his best season since being at United, and I don't see why he's getting the criticism that he is. Like without Rash, like obviously Pogba's been injured for the majority of the season, but without Rashi this year, we wouldn't be talking about top four. We'd be, you know, around where Spurs or Arsenal are. Like Rashi has made the massive difference, and I think the level of disrespect that people are very short-term memories and just forget quickly how good of a player he's been for us. Yeah, like look, you're gonna have bad games. He's what, 22, 23? He's a quality player, and it really annoys me when people had a go at him. To be honest, because look, he's had a bad game. He's been injured. He's just come back, and he was in flying form before that Southampton. Well, even the Southampton game he scored, but like, you know, he was in flying form, and he's had a couple of bad games, and all of a sudden, it needs to be dropped, needs to get out of the. I think it's just a showing of the modern fan and the reactionary of straight after a game. Like you need to just break it down, realize what's actually happened, see how it is, see how he is in the team. And look, he's had a couple of bad games, but get over it, man. It's not the end of the world. And I think in terms of the team team selection, I feel like, as I said before, I'd pretty much go with the exact same thing. If Shaw is fit, I'd definitely start Shaw because I thought Williams had an absolute stinker. And I have Shaw in at left back, Wan-Bissaka back in, obviously ahead of Fosu-Mensah, and then McTominay. And that's the team I'd have. And I think that team is completely capable of beating. And look,
sorry, go on, Owen. Finish off, mate.
No, crack on.
Yeah, I mean, Tim, is there a shout for Fred to come in for Matic? A few people have called out Fred's name. Is it time for him to come in a game like this? Energy gets around a lot quicker than I'd say McTominay or Matic does.
Not for me, mate. I would with how well Matic was playing. I don't think you can look at and point at anybody the last 3 games or so, or whatever how long this sort of slump has been on for the last 3 games, and look at it and say that it's been on one player. Nobody's really played well. And so I probably wouldn't change too much. You know, I don't even think I'd bring McTominay. I'd probably leave Matic because he was the one who was really getting us forward and really driving us from the back, you know, when we were playing really well. I think that it's unfair of anybody to judge any players. Well, the first part of it is I think it's unfair to judge any of the players based on how the season's gone with the stop, like COVID stopping things and then coming back, and the amount of games that have come sort of in this restart. I mean, it's really like you're starting a new season. You're off for 3 months. And when you start a new season in August, like you're playing once a week, the other competitions haven't gotten going. There's a couple international breaks since September and October. These guys have been thrown into 4 games every 2 weeks, which is really like the start of the new season. Like you can clearly see that's having an impact on not just United, on everybody. I'm not a Pogba basher by any means, but I think that with the players that we have in the team, the players that you have to look to get you through this last game of the season are the players who have been in these big moments before, and we've seen Pogba do it for France. He's obviously won league titles in Italy. You know, players like Mason Greenwood, Rashford, Martial, you know, younger players that haven't been in these high leverage positions before. They're going to be looking to the players in our squad who have that experience, and this is where you really need players like De Gea, Pogba, you know, Maguire to an extent, who's played in a World Cup semifinal, but the captain, looking to those sort of more senior players that have been in these high leverage moments for leadership on Sunday, and that's where it has to come from for me.
Yeah, I mean, Owen's just
just dropped off.
I don't know where Owen's gone. He's just completely disappeared off my screen. He's just
saw one of his kids in the chat and tried to get out of it.
Yeah, I know he's done for it again, hasn't he? Yeah, I mean, it's interesting you talk about Pogba there, because Pogba's criticism has been probably of more than any other player after what he's done the last couple of games. Well, not a couple of games, because I didn't think he played bad against Palace. He didn't start against Chelsea, so we can't really blame him for that. But the mistake against Southampton, you could say, cost us 2 points. And then Owen's back. And then the mistake against West Ham cost us 2 points. So some of you being overly harsh people would go, well, Adam, you were slatering De Gea for dropping mistakes and costing us points. How about Pogba cost us 4 points, 2 at Southampton and 2 against West Ham for his antics and what he did in his style of play? Some people would say that was just the Pogba swagger and the way he moves around the pitch. He got caught on the ball against Southampton and then didn't want to take one in the face against West Ham. So I don't think that this is a game that we can afford to leave anyone of them attacking players out in. You called it there. Martial has been excellent. Rashford has not been great the last couple of games, but has been superb for most of the season. Greenwood, say no more. We've got a superstar on our hands, and it is so promising. 17 goals in his first season, boys. I mean, if there was ever a moment for someone to make his... I don't think he's droppable right now. I really don't. I think he's undroppable the way he's playing. He's had a couple of bad games, but even in them bad games, he looked after the ball superbly, in my opinion.
He still looked threatening as well.
He's still got that there. That's what we need.
He's still a threat because the way he can finish, he could have a shit game for 80 minutes and just get one opportunity and it's going in.
You don't know where to push him.
He's the best finisher I've seen. He's the best finisher I've seen since Van Persie, 100%.
With both feet.
Yeah.
Both feet.
Both feet.
Scores with his left foot, scores with his right.
You don't know where to push him as a defender. Where do you force him?
It was like the goal against Bournemouth. He tried to push him.
Anyway,
he tried to push him wide.
Right, bang.
Did exactly what you're taught to do as a defender, right? Push him wide, take him away from the goal, and then bang. This right foot, nightmare.
Yeah, that is exactly it. I mean, the most important thing I think we all want to see against Leicester from this lot is a bit of character, because I don't see this game going the way I don't see it going like plan A. I think there's going to be plan. Yeah, I think there's going to be plan B, C, D, E, F. There's going to be all sorts going. It's just going to be one of them hard watches, an exciting game. I think this will be a game in a season contender. I really do, because I feel, especially if Leicester come out to play, which they have to, it's just going to open up to them quality players that we spoke about there. And you know what? There's a time, and it'd be perfect for someone like Rashford just to step up and win us a game, just to shut everyone up. And it's just made for it, I think. I think we'll catch them on the break. And I just feel like Leicester are just going to... It's just... No matter how bad we have been the last two games, I'm confident that we have got enough in the tank. Energy-wise, Tim touched on fitness. I'm still not 100% on having the fitness as being our major issue. Because I watched Chelsea the other day, play the same amount of games, and they were running all over Liverpool, still trying to catch a point, and they were 3-0 down at one point. But I just feel Leicester are going to go Brendan Rodgers, cocky bastard, as he is, straight at United. I think it's going to play into our hands, boys.
He loves terrific character. That's what he loves, man. That's what he loves. That you're saying about character, that's Rodgers' favourite word. It's your terrific character. Terrific character. That is his favourite. That's his favourite catchphrase of all time.
Yeah, it comes with the Irish, mate, that one, doesn't it?
He's coming. Whatever the result, he's coming.
That's the one, isn't it? That's the one. Anyway, quick thought on Henderson getting the Players Right of the Year. Right, that's enough of that. Move on, next subject. We all know that award isn't all about the football, also, because Rashford came third in that, by the way. So, yeah, not too bad, is it? Not too bad.
Third?
He came third in the Players Right. Yeah.
And he was injured in March.
Football Writers Player of the Season, so
he was injured.
Came third. Yeah, he did.
Injured for 2 months.
Yeah, it is right. We're getting into that stage of the video now, boys, where I'm going to ask you to put your head on the line here now. How is it going to go on Sunday, Tim? I'm not the video's not finished yet, people. Don't worry. But I want to get some score predictions in while we're talking important stuff.
I think it's going to be...
We talked about character, tactics, who plays. We've all got our team in. Now it's time to start putting our necks on the line and saying what we think this is going to be.
I think it's going to be 2-1 United, and I'm going to go with Greenwood for the winner.
Oh, fairy tale story. I like it, Tim. Owen, what are you going for, mate? What are you seeing?
I'm actually going to agree with Tim, which is a rarity, but I'm going to say 2-1 as well.
2-1 as well.
2-1 as well. 2-1. I think 2-1. I'm going to go for Tony Marshall to get the winner.
Ooh, that's a good show.
I'm going to go crazy here. I'm going to go 3-3. I just see.
No. My heart ain't ready for that, ad. My heart.
No, I know it, mate, but I just see this being. Do you know when again? Do you know what I watched?
I'm not having that.
I watched. I flicked over in a program the other day, and I don't know why I kept it on, but it was Steve McManaman talking to Robbie Fowler.
Oh,
and I found it. I know it's not one for us, but I found it fascinating because we're talking about that Newcastle 4-3 game, and this is how I feel that Sunday could possibly go. And he's talking there. It's like you're in that game. You're in that type of game, and you know the stuff that you can do to stop it going. But it says when you're in the middle of that, it said there's no way you can change it. it just keeps happening. There's no way of getting control of the game. Mate, I've had severe migraines watching United the last few weeks. If it's anything like what I predict it being, then hey, you are going to seriously see a stressful Adam
I'm
on
telling
Sunday.
You now, if we win 4-3 with a last-minute winner, you won't see me for a week.
Yes. Quick shout out to Saeed. People, while he's watching, everyone just give us your Saeed comments in the comment section. He's going to love this. He's going to love me for it.
Ollie freestyle.
Ollie going to freestyle. Saeed's in the house. But yeah, people, just give me your Saeed comments quickly before we go.
Let's make a bet for Saeed that if we finish third, he has to sing Ollie's at the wheel again.
Mate, I think to be fair, he is still Ollie out, but obviously he said if Ollie does get top 4, then he deserves another season. He does deserve another season. I just feel like, and I'm going to pose this question to you now, boys. We'll finish up with this sort of subject. We've got, like I said in the title, there's 3 managers, all young. Well, I'd say Brendan Rodgers. Cry for a week. Brendan Rodgers aside, I feel like there's 2 managers going into this week. They know no matter what happens, their jobs are safe for next season. That's how it feels. Mm-hmm. One man who I think should be scared for his job is Ole. I'll be honest, because he's the one who spent the Brewsters. He's the one who spent the most money. And I just feel like the pressure of the United job is probably forcing Ole to be, and because he said this about United standards himself, and he said that this is the way we should be, this is what we should be aspiring to do, and where we should be competing. So I know he's got that get out of jail card in the Europa League, and that is still there for us. I do feel like we're just suited so much to winning that trophy that just makes me fear that he come out if we don't manage to get top 4 this weekend and it somehow goes wrong. That's the interview that's going to come out of his mouth. But I mean, if he doesn't get it, boys, are you questioning whether Ole is capable, having had all this opportunity? Would you look at the run he's been on over us bottling it on the final game and the last few games? Which way would you look at it? Would you look at the run, unbeaten, but then losing the last game? Is that a mentality issue? Is he not being able to get it or get his players over the line? I mean, Tim, if we don't get top 4, mate, a question's got to be asked.
For me personally, I don't think so. I just think that if you look at the season as a whole, we had a poor start to the season. I think that even prior to that, in the last transfer window, obviously we sold Lukaku. We didn't strengthen the midfield. You know, we sort of rested on the fact that McTominay was going to increase his role and improve and be able to do a job for us, which he started to do. But I think that you got to look at this season in sort of 2 sections. And that's why everyone that's using the points total as part of this Ole out argument, for me, it's a complete fallacy, because you can't look at what we've done since the arrival of
Bruno. You're right. It's going to be a record point season for top 4.
Yeah. And United's
record low, isn't it?
Yeah,
United's low, yeah.
People are saying, we're going to finish with a lower points total than last season. Making the top 4 is masking that fact.
But about the points, though, it matters where we finish.
And you've got to look at what we've done since Bruno arrived, because it was painfully obvious to every single person that we needed a playmaking midfielder. We needed a number 10. And now that Bruno's arrived, if you look at where we are in the table and the performances we've put in since that happened and the way Ole has this team moving forward, we easily qualify for the top 4 if we get Bruno in the summer. So I don't think it's fair to look at what's transpired in the last little while, the season as a whole, and look at the top 4 and say Ole should be out, because I think that you can see the mentality improving. You can see things in the culture getting better, and how the players are responding, and the people that are improving. I think that's what you need to look at.
Yeah, it's a good shout for that. I mean, Owen, in it, mate. I mean, like Tim said there, first half of the season, nightmare. Because believe me, we are. If you look at the season, from the halfway point, and this includes them games against Liverpool and Burnley, then United are third in the league. I think we're 7 points behind for the second half of the season right now, and that's with our recent form as well, with the drop points against Southampton and West Ham. So on that basis, it looks like we are improving. Ollie's got his man that he should have got in the summer, and it did change things.
Yeah, exactly.
It did change things. But
as you were outside with me,
if we don't get top four, yeah. I mean, the thing is, mate, I'm looking at it like this. Tim makes a good point, but at the end of the day, it's like an heavyweight boxer. It's like, for me, it's like Anthony Joshua. He's got all the pedigree. He's got the physique. He's got the size. He's got all the qualities. But at the end of the day, we all know that he's got a glass jaw and he can't get back up. It's proven. Is this United? You know what I mean? Is this United?
Hang on, he got up against Klitschko.
Mate, yeah, Klitschko let him get back up. Let's be fair. If he stayed on him, he wasn't winning that fight. It's as simple as that. We all know it. But
I was at that fight. I like Joshua because he's near from where I live. So
yes, I know we all like him, mate. But this is what I'm saying. We all like United. We all love our football club. But all them rounds, boxing someone out of the ring, and then you come to the 12th round and you get one on the chin. It just feels like, has Ollie got the capabilities to get the job over the line? I feel like this is a hurdle he has to get over. And then I feel like I want to judge Ollie on next season. I want to see what he can do from the Champions League places, how he manages a Champions League season, and what he does now. Now he's near enough coming up to 2 years as a manager in December at United, how he judges and how he manages them players coming back in Sanchez, Smalling, these players, how he manages the summer, what he does with Pogba. And I think it's a perfect season for me, Owen, if he does get into the Champions League, and then we judge Ollie. I think that's fair. Do you see where I'm going with that? I feel like that's more of a fair sort of way to look at it. Yeah. And the ones who, like Saeed says, I understand what Saeed says. Are we going to miss out on another top manager if we don't react now? That's the thing, because we always seem to miss out on the best ones that are around. Yeah. And I understand that point from people, but I do feel like we have to give Ollie next season, especially if he gets top 4. Owen?
Oh, you cut out there, Ed. What?
Sorry, mate. Did I go?
Yeah, no, I'm back.
I'm back. Out. Sorry, Saeed's corrupted the feed. I'm talking about Ollie and Saeed.
Oh, he's got in there.
I was just saying.
No, but the point there,
go on, mate. Go on. I know what you're going to say. Go on.
No, the point you made about the points thing. At the end of the day, like, Liverpool got what, 90 odd points. What was it, 97 points or something last year? They didn't win the league. So, like, at the end of the day, like, ads. If I said to you, we finished on 60 points and finished second or third at the start of the season, you'd have bit my hand off. But do you give a shit about the points, though? It's where you finish. No one gives it. Who gives a shit what your total points are? Yeah. Wherever you finish, you finish. Yeah. Look, Saeed has his opinion. I disagree with him massively. Massively disagree with him. I love Ollie. I think Ollie is perfect for the job. Personally, I love Ollie. I think Ollie cares about the club. I waited for a manager to care about the club since Fergie's left. Mm. You could see it, Mourinho. He didn't give a shit. It was his. It was the Mourinho show. LVG. There was a bit of affection there for a while. Moyes. I mean, I've kind of blanked that year out of my memory because it was the worst year of my life.
Yeah,
driving home from Wayne Routledge scoring a fucking winner at Old Trafford. Like I mean, the word. But Ollie is with the fans. And I think if we sack Ollie, I think it's a massive. If we get top 4 and if we get top 4 and win the Europa League, which is what Saeed is saying, I honestly cannot see why you would sack that man. He's done a brilliant job. He's put the spirit, the happiness that he's brought into this club amongst the fan base, amongst the actual traveling fan base that go week in, week out. The spirit, the happiness that he's brought into the club is you cannot rival it. Mourinho was toxic as fuck. Van Gaal, toxic as well towards the end. Moyes was just, again, blanked out of the memory. But he's brought in this idea into the club, and we're all happy again to go and watch United, right? So no, it's not because the sentiment's naive, because I was born in 1990.
So what's that, like, what's it being said there? Like, we don't, Ole's not going to get us over the hump, right? He's brought us to this point. Okay, he gets us into the top 4. Now but we don't know if he can get us over the hump because he hasn't had the opportunity. I think it's a much fairer measure of a manager if he gets you into the top 4. The ultimate scenario is he's backed properly in the transfer window. Now he is giving us those tools where we should see progression if we bring the right players into challenging for the title, or at least leapfrogging City and getting closer to Liverpool. Whatever your barometer is the board. That's a more fair scenario than saying, oh, we're going to sack him now because we don't believe he's the man to get us to where we want to go. But he hasn't been given an opportunity. So what kind of logic is that?
Yeah, it's a fair point, eh? But it's like if we get that Europa League and then we get into the Super Cup, I mean, that's another competition. So, I mean, we've always said...
The Scousers go on about the Super Cup as if it was the best trophy in sliced bread. So
it's a trophy. It's one of them. You have to win a trophy to get into playing for that trophy. So this is it. I've never known it's so split on
the treble.
Yeah, I've never known it's so split on the comment section between, especially when we brought up the Ole thing. But to be fair, it's one of them. I do think that a lot of people at the start of this season, if you said, like Owen said there, forget the points, don't even come into it. I'm not even going to look into the points. I'll say we've scored more goals than last season. So, yeah, the style of football is definitely getting better. But what I would say is, if you'd have offered me top 4 at the start of this season, I'd have gone, yeah, I'd take that. Not so much concerned about trophy, because that's the next step. And I said it on United Stand, I think, a few weeks ago. I said, I'm happy for Ole to stay because I want to see how he can adapt to the next level. And the next level for me is comfortably finishing in the top 4 every season and maybe winning a trophy, because we're not ready to take the league on yet. We know that. We know from the players' mentality. Roy Keane's line pretty much nailed it for me. Heaven forbid these players should be playing for trophies. This is top 4 they're fighting for. Yeah. You know what? Top trophies are the Premier League and Champions League. That's the next step now. We need to be comfortably in the top 4 and then comfortably in every single season. And then for me, we need to be looking at trying to close the gap first. And it's going to come with winning games and changing the mentality. That's what it's going to come. That's the main thing for me. It's the winning mentality. Because this team, Owen touched on it. He mentioned the previous managers. There's elements of them 2 managers, even Moyes in some aspects, still in this team. You can see it. It came out in fruition against West Ham. That was LVG.
That didn't happen.
LVG. I know, mate. I know what you're saying, but I know what you're saying, but it did.
It didn't happen. It didn't happen. We forget about it. Didn't happen. It didn't happen. It didn't exist. It didn't exist. It never existed.
Just so you know what Owen's going on about there. He's just wiping the Moyes era out of his memory bank. That's all he's talking about there.
He just needed more time. He just needed more time, Owen. He's as good as Ole. He just needed more time.
Yeah, it is. It's
just... mate, when I've seen that comment, I was fucking raging.
I put that out on my Instagram.
I needed more time. You could have signed Fabregas, Ronaldo. You had so many opportunities to sign top players.
Who offered him Thiago, and he said no.
Fucking 6'5" donkey with an afro.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think
you signed a 6'5" donkey with an afro for free.
Saeed's on to wind up tonight.
Shut up! Shut up!
Saeed's coming on. Saeed's coming on the next show. Right. I tell you.
No,
Saeed's sitting there chuckling away. Sitting there laughing.
Right. This is it. You've got to make an agreement with me right now, Saeed. If we win on Sunday, you have to record, put it all every social media platform. You singing "Ollie's at the wheel" with an actual smile on your face. With an actual smile on your face, unlike City away when you sung it begrudgingly. Properly sing it.
Yeah, well, that's it.
I've got a shirt as well. You can wear it.
I'm trying to sort. It's going to be a bit messy on the last because of kickoff times. I think we still will be able to get our normal Sunday show on in between that and United Stand stuff, player ratings. So I'm going to try and get Saeed on as well while we can. Hopefully, Tim, you'll be up for it as well. Owen, no doubt. If you're not too pissed up, that is anyway. But yeah, I'm hoping to try and get us. I'll definitely get Saeed on, and we'll get Saeed to sing it once we qualify for top 4. So if Saeed's up for it, I'll see if he wants to do it. We'll go live and we'll do it in front of Owen and Tim and everyone else watching. So
I'll do it if we win.
Come on, Saeed.
I'll do it if we win the league, Saeed. Come on, mate. You got to do it. You can't. You got to do it. Anyway, people, we're just about finished on that one now. Quickly, I'm just going to touch on it quickly before we do finish because there was more breaking news today. I was going to talk about this before, but the start of next season has been announced, 12th of September, day before Alfie's birthday. So hopefully he gets a present and we kickstart. Then I got a feeling we'll probably be on the Friday or the Sunday. Taking it the season means the Saturday, but not much turnaround, boys. Around about 7 weeks is that, and we've still got to play the Europa League for a couple of weeks yet. So we're probably going to have around about a 5-week turnaround from competitive football. So I mean, happy that it's been announced, and we know couple of weeks rest, 3 weeks rest for the players, for you boys, and then straight back into training. What are you reckoning?
We got to strengthen. You can't. We're going to be playing football for the good part of a year. Well,
you're going to look at it now, Tim. They're going to be into the season for about 3 weeks with that window open. So that's going to be incredibly interesting for me to see what knee-jerk reactions the managers make, and if there's some that actually, well, there's a lot that don't like it, I know, but 3 weeks of transfers while the season's starting, that's going to be very, very interesting. And that could make or break a few managers' seasons. If you look at it like that, Owen, right?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Owen's got a lot to say on that. No problem.
I think this is going to.
No, you cut out. You cut out, man.
Didn't. Everyone back me up. Owen's just had one too many. That's all. Come on.
I mean, I'm going to say it now. With some of the disastrous transfer windows we've had in the past, this is probably the most important transfer window that Woodward's going to have, even outside of some of the disastrous ones, because we're finally in a position where things are improving, and it's with added to that the COVID era and what that's going to do, and how the quick turnaround for the season. He's got to get it right. Has to get it right this transfer window.
100% got to get it right. Right, people, I'm going to leave you to your weekends. Give you a day off tomorrow. Settle the nerves. Get yourself prepared. It's going to be one hell of a ride on Sunday. All the super chatters, all the comments, it's been bang on. Thanks for Saeed jumping on. Saeed, you're coming on Sunday, mate. We've got to do something. Quickly, let's just go around. Tim, just give the people a shout out on your socials, mate.
Yeah, you can find us at Nagram UFC.
No problem at all. Owen, give the people a shout out for you, mate.
Yeah, Cockney Red 99 on all of them. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. And if you're around London, go for a pint.
Yeah, and hopefully when the football starts again, you'll see Owen and everyone who has been in touch with me on the socials as well. I was supposed to get people onto, what do you call it on YouTube now? Moderators, that was the one. I do remember saying that, get into my socials and asked me to do it, and I totally forgot. So apologize for that. Everyone who's been on, giving the channel credit on my socials and bringing up the channel, thank you so much. I'm sure there'll be a few more on later again, and definitely this weekend. So everyone's comments, everyone who's been back in the channel, superb. As always, the season's nearly over before another one even gets going. Anyway, boys, enjoy your weekend. I will see you Sunday. It's going to be nerve-wracking. Everyone, buckle in. It's going to be one hell of a ride. I will see you on Sunday. Bye-bye.